I welcome you all to my channel. Glad to meet you all in this video. Before we go into the video, I request you all to subscribe to my channel. Well, today we are going to see the introduction to load balancer. Let's quickly step into the video. What are load balancers? Load balancers are nothing but the process of distributing workloads across multiple servers, which are collectively known as server cluster. Predominantly, load balancing improves service availability and helps prevent downtime and improves uptime. Load balancing is a vital component of any cloud environment. It plays an important role in maintaining the availability of cloud-based applications to your customers, business partners, and end users. So in this video, we will see what load balancer is and how it contributes the overall health and robustness of your cloud environment. Let's see why we go for this load balancing. Without load balancing, how it will be? The main purpose of this load balancing is to prevent any single server from getting overloaded, and as a result, what will happen? The server gets crashed. Moreover, when the amount of workload, that is the concurrent users or the request an individual server receives, should be within the acceptable levels, or it can be said as within the SLA, meaning that there are sufficient computing resources such as CPU, RAM to process those requests within the acceptable response times. For example, if the server has a capacity of handling only 1000 requests, let's say we are sending 1000 requests to hit the server, it's absolutely fine because the 1000 requests are in the acceptable range. Let's take another example. If there are more than 2000 requests hitting the single server, as a consequence, what will happen? The performance would get degraded. So that's why to mitigate this issue, the load balancers comes into picture. In today's era, cloud infrastructures are supposed to scale up to accommodate any increase in traffic in near future. Whenever the cloud scales up in future, we might get additional resources or some environment upgrade is happening. It's typically spins up multiple virtual servers and runs multiple application instances. The main network component which is responsible for distributing the traffic across these new instances, which are none other than load balancers. What we are going to achieve by placing this load balancers, it could be the faster response time, which is also very significant to the end user satisfaction and the productivity. Having said that, the load balancers are highly beneficial to the cloud environment, where massive workloads can easily overwhelm a single server, and high level of service availability and less response times are very much critical to the business processes. So overall, we understood like load balancing also plays a key role in cloud scalability. So let's assume without load balancer, what it will happen? Like we are adding some newly virtual servers which wouldn't be able to receive the incoming traffic in a coordinated fashion. Also, some virtual servers might even be handling zero traffic while other servers become overloaded. So, to balance this activity, load balancer plays a important role. The load balancers are capable of detecting unavailable servers and redirecting traffic to those who are still working. The cloud infrastructure can support multiple geographical regions. So for instance, if one region becomes inoperational due to some natural calamities like earthquake, flood or tsunami, the load balancers can redirect traffic to the regions that haven't been affected by the calamity. So depending upon the load balancing algorithms which the servers support, the load balancers may even be able to determine if a server or a set of server is certainly likely to get overloaded more quickly then redirect those traffic to the other nodes which are less loaded. Moving on to the next slide. We have 5 different load balancing techniques. Let's see one by one. Round robin. The round robin method, say for example, there are multiple identical servers available for the single application and they have configured with the same internet domain name. However, it has a unique IP address. So what our load balancer will do, like our load balancer has a list of all unique IP addresses that are associated with the internet domain name. Whenever the request for the sessions or the servers associated with the internet domain name are received, they are allocated in a random or rotating sequential manner. For example, sequentially in the sense the first request gets the IP address of server 1, the second request gets the IP address of server 2, the third request gets the IP address of server 3, and so on. The next one is about the weighted round robin. In a weighted round robin method, each server in the pool is given a fixed numerical weighting by the network administrator. So he will, if there are 1 to 5 servers are there, in each server he will give a numerical value of 100, 200, 300, 50, like that it goes on. The assignment of requests is still done on a cyclic basis, with the servers that have higher weightings being assigned more sessions in each cycle. Let me quote an example. The most efficient and powerful server could be assigned a weighting value of 100. If the other server which is processing half the capacity of the first server will be assigned a weighting of 50. So the servers with the higher weighting will obviously get more requests. A server with the weighting of 100 would get allocated twice as many requests as a server with the weighting of 50. Next one is the least connection. The least connection method will access the current server load. We'll see how that server load trend is. So based on that, it will take a call and send the latest request to the server that is currently servicing the fewest number of active connect sessions at that time. Next is like weighted least connection. Here also it's same like a weighted round robin. Like each server is given a numerical value. For example, say the server 1 is having a weighting of 100 and server 2 having a weighting of 200. In a scenario, if two servers have same number of active connections, like the server 1 is also having active sessions like 100 and server 2 also it has 100, then what it will decide, like then the server with the higher weighting is allocated the new request. Where it goes, the new request goes to the higher weighting servers. So if the server with the least number of connections are having the same weighting, like the weighting is provided for the least number of connections also the same weighting, then the weighting value is ignored. Next one is agent based adaptive load balancing. So in the agent based adaptive load balancing uses the smartest method for server load analysis. So it has an agent that reports the current load to the load balancer management software. Okay, what happens there? It will send a report. Instead of using a simple numerical count of the number of sessions the each server is delivering, it will show you a real-time load information, which will help you to decide whether which server is placed to handle a request at that particular point of time. This method is used in conjunction with the other techniques such as weighted round robin and weighted least connection. Moving on to the next slide. Now almost we are in the end of this session. I hope you all understand the concepts of load balancer. Thanks for watching my video. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, Software Testing Hub. See you all in my next video. Bye.